There's a lot of stories to tell in professional sports, and I love all the action and emotion behind it all. Hey everyone, my name is EJ, and I'm a content creator, and I cover everything from lifestyle, fitness, photo, video, and more. If you're new to my channel, please hit the like and subscribe button so you can stay up to date with the latest content that I'm going to be dropping. This year, I started my YouTube content creation journey, and I have some really big news for you. I finally found something that I am going to specifically focus on. A couple months ago, I took a stab at shooting sports videography. I made a whole video about it. I shot my very first football game. If you want to watch it, I can link it above here, but to give you the TLDR, the TLDW, the whole goal of it was for me to try out something new and see if I could find something that I'd be interested in. Fast forward to today, I've decided to really dial in and focus on the specific niche of sports videography, pursue it, and create content around it. I was always a sports guy growing up. I played football in high school, and I also played for a couple of years after. And I also love watching professional sports. Everything from the UFC to the NBA to MLB to NHL. In fact, I have my own podcast and we talk about sports, but maybe more on that in a different video. On the video side, I really got into cameras after I graduated, and I really fell in love with storytelling. I remember one of my fondest memories as a kid was working on one of those old school computers, Microsoft Word, and spending hours just writing short stories. So I guess you can say it was a natural transition for me to go try sports videography. There's a lot of stories to tell in professional sports, and I love all the action and emotion behind it all. So as I'm starting my journey as a sports videographer, I wanted to put this video together to give you some advice on how to get started on your journey as well. Here's a couple tips that I think that are really important. Write down your goals. Whenever I start on a new journey or embark on something new, I always write down somewhere on the side why I'm doing it in the first place. What's your goal taking on this new adventure, or what are you trying to achieve? For me, my goal is to become successful at sports videography and eventually work with the professional sports team. I'm sure you've probably heard about SMART goals, but this video is not going to cover that. You can use any goal setting framework that you'd like, but the key thing is that you should always write down why you're doing it so you can come back at the very end or in the middle and think about why you're doing it in the first place. I know that this journey isn't going to be easy. It's going to take a lot of sacrifices and a lot of hard work, but having something to remind me is going to keep me motivated to keep going down this path that I chose. Tip number 2. Learn from other creators. Today, we live in a time where learning is super accessible. Take YouTube, for example. As much as it is a platform for entertainment, you're probably on this channel because you want to learn about sports videography. YouTube is absolutely my favorite place to learn about sports videography, and I've already crunched and logged so many hours learning from different content creators about how to make it in this field. Here's a few creators that I suggest following because I've gotten a lot of value from their content, and I think that you will too. Check out Beyond the Game's channel. If you type in sports videography, his videos are probably the first results that are going to pop up. His content is especially good for beginners, and I actually went out and shot my very first basketball game based on things I learned from one of his videos. Another creator I suggest following is Peter Sorellis. I'm a football guy, and one day I want to shoot professionally for the CFL for NFL. The value that I'm getting from his content is not just about how to shoot football, but he has a lot of great content about what gear to use. I actually bought my FX30 based on the fact that Peter is using it successfully in a practical situation. And another great creator that I'm following is Juan Morales. As much as I say that I'm a football guy, another sport that I love to shoot one day is hockey. Juan shoots for the NHL, and what's great about Juan is that his work is not just videography, but he's also a cinematographer. If you're like me and you like creating content that's cinematic, that captures moments, that convey emotion, you should definitely check out his page also. My third tip is to join a class. At the beginning of this year, I started listening to the 505 podcast because I started to get into content creation, and I really identified with the pods and I got a lot of value out of them. I actually ran a half marathon listening to their podcast, so you know their content is not just educational, but it's also entertaining. One day, I saw a story pop up on their Instagram advertising B. Figgy's masterclass. B. Figgy Braden is one of the hosts of the 505 podcast, and up until recently, he was a video producer for the LA Lakers. So I responded to his story, and after a couple DMs back and forth, I ended up signing up for his masterclass. Learning on YouTube and social is great, but being able to learn from a mentor and a coach has really taken things to another level for me. I think the best part of the course is that it's not just a course, but it comes with an entire community. There's a bunch of other creators in there who have a lot of great work, a lot of talent, and we all support each other because we're all chasing the same big dream. This is probably the most important tip that I can give you. So you've done all your research, you've studied a bunch of long hours on YouTube. Now you just got to go out there and create. You could reach out to a rec league that might need some new content for their social media, or maybe reach out to a friend or family member who just wants to make a video. Maybe this person is playing sports, or maybe they're just training for some sort of event. The key here is to just get your reps in. When it comes to camera gear, don't let having the latest and greatest hold you back. The very first camera that I ever owned was the Canon T3i, and I've learned that a lot of great filmmakers started off with an entry-level body like this camera as well. And even if you don't have a camera, you can go out there and shoot content with your phone. The technology in phones these days are so crazy that you can go out there and shoot professional content just with your cell phone. Whatever you are shooting, what also really helps is knowing what types of shots that you want in advance. Let's say that you are ready to go out and shoot a basketball video and you want to make it 60 seconds. I used to be the type of creator that would go out with a plan and just shoot. Then I'd get home and edit and try to figure out what I want the video to be about. Eventually I'd get it done, but it sometimes took me a lot longer than I wanted to, and then sometimes I'd also be missing some of the shots that I wanted to take. So pro tip here is to come up with a shot list. Write down a list of shots that you want to take. These could be things like establishing shots that capture where you are, or close shots that introduce the athlete and also tell stories and capture emotion. Having shot lists really helped me with my process for creating and shooting, and if you need one also, holler at me in the comments and I can send you one that you can use for your shoots as well too. I could do an entire video on shot lists, but the key thing here is to just go out and create. So that's a wrap on today's video. If you're someone who's also pursuing sports videography, I'd really love to link up and connect. You can follow me on my Instagram, you can subscribe to this channel, and I'm also going to drop a newsletter that you can subscribe to, and you can follow me along my journey to becoming a sports videographer. See you next time. Peace.